Hello, YouTube. So today I'm going to be talking about something I've been experimenting with recently. Still on Mermails, but this time I've been trying to merge it with the Ryu-Ge cards because it allows us a lot of ways to get to our best card, Neptabyss. So if you haven't read it, this field spell on activation searches a worm, a sea serpent, and a dragon, and a dinosaur, sorry. You add one to your hand, you banish one, and you send one to the grave. So obviously we're going to be adding the Neptabyss to our hand and sending one of those others to the grave and banished. It does have some downsides. You can only special summon dinosaurs, dragons, sea serpents, and worms the turn you activate it. And if you have this guy in your extra deck, you can add a bonus effect. You can summon all three of these guys to the field for free. This card is incredibly searchable because Mistweaver itself searches it with its pendulum scale. Mistweaver in turn is searchable with Ryu-Ge Rising. Terraforming can search the War Zone. You can send Herald of the Arclight with extra Foolish Burial to search Mistweaver. Searchable with Melody of the Awakening Dragons, as well as several other ways to get to it. Not all of them are necessarily worth running. I'm not running the extra Foolish or the Melody. But the point is, playing those cards lets you play about 20 copies of Neptabyss, so you're almost guaranteed to have access to it in your opening hand, which is crazy. Obviously, the downside here is you can only special summon sea serpents from your usual Mermail cards. So that means you can't summon Toad, you can't summon Abysteus, you can't summon Rhine back from the graveyard. Yeah, so it's not all upside. Yeah. But to get started, I'll show you some simple combos. You don't always have to run these three bricks, or these three cards. So this first one I'll show you doesn't use either of those three, but it does use Tenyu Spirit Chitana and a Giant Rex. So if we start off with our opening hand, we'll say got Imperm, just a bunch of spells, Rising, Cross Out, and an Ash Blossom. There we go. So we can activate the War Zone. We'll choose Giant Rex, Chitana, and Neptabyss is our three cards. We'll add the Neptabyss to our hand, banish the Giant Rex, and send the Chitana to grave. Giant Rex will then trigger to special summon itself back. And we can go ahead and normal summon our Neptabyss. Now we're going to use Neptabyss effect here. We're going to send a Dragoons to the graveyard. To add a Shadow Squad to our hand. Dragoons can trigger and get us our Deep Sea Minstrel. Now we can use Minstrel, sending the Shadow Squad, so we no longer are susceptible to Nibiru. We'll trigger the Shadow Squad, summoning a Dragoons from our deck. Then we will overlay the Dragoons and the Giant Rex for an Abyss Dweller. use the Abyss Dweller, detaching the Dragoons, and searching for Mermail Glacier. And that is 5 waters in our grave, so we can go ahead and drop the Mermail Glacier and take 2 cards out of their hand. Now, if they didn't have Nibiru, then we can take out something like an Impermanence or, you know, there's lots of cards. So we can almost guarantee the Mermail Glacier is resolving if we get into this point. Yeah, if you don't fear the Nibiru, you can go different lines. Like this can go a lot further if you don't search for the Minstrel. So I'll go ahead and show how that can go as well. So stay in starting hand. We will activate the War Zone, sending the same cards again. So Giant Rex, Shatana, and Neptabyss. Rex comes back. Normal summon Neptabyss. And this time we'll pretend we don't care about Nibiru, and we'll just go as hard as we can go. So we will send Dragoons to add Shadow Squad. Oh no, sorry, to add Abyss Rhine. And then the Dragoons will add the Shadow Squad. We'll go Abyss Rhine, tribute the Shadow Squad in our hand to special the new Poseidon. The Shadow Squad will trigger to summon Dragoons from our deck. And we'll go ahead and make the Dweller again and detach. And then we'll search for the Dragoons, getting Poseidon. And we'll go ahead and use Poseidon, tributing the Neptabyss. And then Neptabyss effect can bring back the Dragoons. Now we can go overlay our 2 Poseidons. For Abyss Trite, on summon, we can bring back the other copy of Dragoons. Can overlay those 2. For Bahamut Shark, detach the Bahamut Shark, detach the Dragoons for Bahamut Shark to summon the Virtue Dragon. Then we've got Dragoons and the Virtue Dragon. So Virtue Stream, and I think we've got 5 waters in grave. Yes, we do. So we can go ahead and search the Mermail Glacier. And we can go ahead and drop that down. Take 2 cards out of their hand, remembering with Abyss Dweller, so nothing's going to trigger in their grave. Now we can simply use the Virtue Dragon, detach from, I guess we'll do the Abyss Trite, add back the Neptabyss, and then we'll go the Virtue and Abyss Trite into Alacia, and we can set the Virtue Stream. So what have we got here? Well, we've got the Neptabyss that can be discarded to the graveyard on an opponent's turn to revive our Poseidon, which in turn is a lot of interruptions. We've got Abyss Shrine in grave, which can also trigger a discard. We've got Dweller, so no graveyard effects for our opponent. They're down 2 cards. We've got Virtue Stream set, and these other 4 cards could potentially be anything. There could be more hand traps. They could have been just things like triple tactics or something you couldn't use. So if you don't fear the hand traps, you can obviously go a lot further off of just the war zone, and there's plenty more experimentation to be done there as well. Alright, now I'm going to show you a combo that you can do if you play the level 10 Ryu-Ges in your deck. So starting off with Mistfur with a quick play or some way to access it, we'll scale the Mistfur and use its effect to search for war zone. There we go. We'll go ahead and activate that, and we'll use it to search for Neptabyss, Kaiba, and Hakuva. So we banish the Hakuva, send the Kaiba to grave, add the Neptabyss to hand. Now, because we've got Mistfur in the extra deck face up, we can go ahead and use the second effect of Warzone to special 3 Ryu-Ges, one from grave, one from deck, and one from banished. And we are now locked into, well, we're already locked into Worm, Sea Serpent, Dinosaur, and Dragon. But we're not locked into Water yet, so we can go ahead and make a Worm rank 10 for Ryu-Ge. So now our Neptabyss does have some protection to hopefully guarantee it resolves. So we can go ahead and normal summon it, and we'll use his effect. So we'll send Dragoons to the graveyard to search for Abyss, right? And then Dragoons will trigger to add Shadow Squad to our hand. Now we can go ahead and tribute the Shadow Squad with the Abyss Run. To summon, or to add a Poseidra from our deck to our hand. So we're not going to summon it. Now the Shadow Squad will trigger to summon a Dragoons from our deck. Now we go ahead and make a link 2. And that has to be this Alacia because we're locked into Sea Serpents and now Water as well. We've met the requirements to summon the Ember from our grave because 2 monsters have been sent from hand or deck to graveyard, so we can just bring them back and go ahead and make our link 3 Neptabyss. Now we can use our Poseidra, tributing the Neptabyss to special itself, and the Neptabyss can trigger in the grave to bring back our Dragoons. Neptabyss will trigger here to add the equip spell Triana, and we can use that to bring back another copy of Dragoons. Now we can overlay these two for Bahamut Shark. Detach Shark to summon the Lavirtue Dragon over here. And we can do Lavirtue and Dragoons. So we add Virtue Stream and Triana's Engrave. And we will add the Molan Glacier to our hand. Right. We'll go ahead and use the Lavirtue Dragon to detach the Dragoons to add the Prince back to our hand. And we've got 6 Waters in grave. And we really want this Abyss Alacia back on the field. So what we're going to do is we will just we'll banish the Triana to return the Abyss Elysia to our extra deck. Now we've got 5 engrave, so we can go ahead and summon the Molan Glacier. Now we've got 5 waters engrave, and we've got our Abyss Molan back, so we can link those 2 off for the Abyss Elysia. Now what have we got? So we've got Neptabyss, Elysia, just a Poseidra. We've looped them for 2. We've got a Verudrus. We've got a lot of ways to discard this because we've got Elysia and we've also got Rhine in the grave. So that's a lot of interruptions, being able to revive that Poseidra should be linked off in place of that. To revive the Poseidra in our grave. We've got Virtue Stream set. So it's a lot of layered interruption there, and we've still got the 4 other cards that we started with. So that was all of 1 card. These combos are by no means sort of like the best thing you can do. I'm sure there's much more you can do. The fact that you lose an Omni of Warzone if you're not getting the Verudrus, it does hurt. There is this new rank 3 Materia X card, which can search for a Omni counter trap, so it won't offer protection from hand traps or anything for your combos, but you can end on it with an Omni. I'm not sure if it's worth running the brick, but this card in itself is not too bad because it can add its materials back to your hand. Yeah, let me know what you think, and I encourage you, please try and explore with this, because not only is it, you know, good for sea serpents, dinosaurs, I'm sure it's great in Sword Soul as well. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try and experiment with the Warzone and see what you can do, because this card is crazy. Alright, thanks for watching everyone, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.